I'm Logan Webb, and you're listening to TortureCast.
Swinging. There's a high drive. Deep into left center field. It's on its way. Adios! Pelota!
Let's go Giants! SF Giants! Let's go Giants! SF Giants!
A grand slam for Buster Posey's good friend.
A podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Chad King, Eric Nathanson, and Willie Dills. This is the TortureCast.
It's Wednesday, March 18th, 2026, and this is episode 332 of the TortureCast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. I'm your host, Chad King, and we got the whole crew here today. Joining me, OG Willie Dills. Man, how are you?
Doing all right, man. Just did a little heat wave in San Francisco, but been watching a lot of baseball, spring training, and World Baseball Classic, and it's all been good stuff. We're gonna get into it, I'm sure.
Yeah, actually, we'll definitely get into the WBC. I had a lot of fun watching that stuff because it was baseball that kind of counts, so it was fun. We also have Eric here today. Eric Nathanson, how you doing, man?
Good. The WBC is such a tease, man. Like, I can't go back to watching spring training games after watching the competitiveness of the WBC. It makes it a little tougher to tune into Giants games, but I'll start tuning in at the beginning of next week.
Yeah, we don't have much longer to wait, though. We're good.
No, only a week between
No.
the WBC and
We
opening
only got a
day.
week.
This is awesome. Yeah.
No, it's pretty sweet. Yeah, let's get into it. It's been a few weeks since we recorded. My arm is okay. It's in a sling here, so I'm trying to operate a right-handed mouse with my left hand, so that's a lot of fun. But I think the Giants have avoided any detached biceps. But let's get to it. The Giants were actually doing really well. Not that spring training records mean a whole lot, but at one point they were best in spring. Since then, including today's loss, they've lost 5 out of 6. But they're one of the best records in the league right now at 16-8. So, I don't know. How much do you guys put any stock into spring training performances? Not really the record, but like you don't want to go 2-24 or anything like that.
No, I mean you don't want to get your ass beat all the time. It's nice to look at the box score and see the Giants scoring like 7 runs, 9 runs. Actually putting a lot of runs on the board. Then you watch some of the games, and you're like, oh, these are like the guys who are not making the team who are just randomly hitting home runs in the 7th inning. Okay,
yeah,
all right, I got it. Because then you look at like some of the guys who matter, and some of their numbers not super exciting. So that's mostly what I look at.
No, I hadn't looked at their totals in a little bit more than a week, and I was kind of disappointed with some of them. We'll get into that right now. I'd say some of the standouts, though, are some of the regulars. Tyler Mahle is no runs in 10 innings so far. Chapman's hitting almost 500. He's hitting 448 with a couple of bombs. But there's one of the non-roster invitees, Victor Barracoto, who's 15 for 34. That's a 441 batting average with 2 bombs, including a grand slam and 12 ribbies. Now, he's been in the minors for the last 4, I think, seasons for the Giants, and he did make it up to Sacramento yesterday for a little bit. No one expects him to make the team, of course. But, it's nice when some of these guys can kind of make their names a little bit more well-known.
He looks like a ball player. I mean, he's got the size, he's got the body type, like the swing looks good. I don't know. I could see him like putting it together at some point. Not this season.
No.
We're a little backed up in all of his possessions, but it's nice to see a guy make a name for himself. When I went a few years ago, there's a couple names that it's funny now I can't even remember them, but I remember there's a few guys who was just like it's exciting to watch some kid have his moment, in Arizona.
There was somebody I remember. I went, 12 years ago now, and there was some huge standout that spring. Some guy nobody had ever heard of, and like you said, I couldn't for the life of me remember his name at this point. I have no idea who that guy.
He's selling cars in Arizona right now.
Probably, Barracoto though. I love the name because like his walkout music should be ooh Barracoto, bum 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 bum. That'd be perfect. But as you said, there's no room for him on this roster right now because he's an outfielder, and the Giants have a lot of outfielders.
Yeah.
And like I said, he does have the big league look, but like on our team, there's just nowhere to go. I mean, he's still got to get over guys like Matos to get there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah. Good luck, buddy. I have a feeling he'll catch on somewhere though.
Before we get to kind of the disappointments of spring so far, anyone else stand out to you guys, non-roster or regular? I mean, anyone.
Honestly,
Christian Koss is having. Yeah, I was gonna say Koss
Koss.
is having a nice spring. 13 for 31, 419 batting average.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the Barracoto stuff, like that's the name that people keep popping into Reddit. There hasn't really been a lot of other guys other than, like I said, it's like a different guy every now and then. Who was the guy who hit the grand slam the other day? It's like, oh my god, now yeah, see, like I'm not.
Yeah, I know we're not going to remember these names in a couple of weeks.
Then I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, I think
he's just the guy.
Parks Harbor. Yeah. Casey Schmidt's not doing bad. He's hitting 300. He's got 12 hits and 40 at bats. Still striking out a little bit. I'm literally just going off the numbers that I'm seeing. You wrote Chapman down here, but I don't know if you mentioned Chappie. He's been doing good. Yeah, this Parks Harbor. Look at that. All these extra outfielders. This guy Jared Oliva is hitting 344. Harbor's 357. And also that what is his name? Josur Gonzalez, the really young kid who's like the real hot prospect. I think he's done pretty well in his short time. There he is. He's batting 500. Forget it. 4 at bats, 2 hits.
4 at bats. Sign him up.
Yeah, I went from looking at one column.
He had a good game.
Well, I'm sure he'll play in the spring breakout game tomorrow against the Reds.
The Reds, yeah. Willie, I have not dipped my toe into the Giants Reddit. Has anyone been clamoring for the next great outfielder, Barracoto, to replace any of our battling outfielders?
Not quite like that, but yeah, there's always, some guy tunes into one game, he sees Barracoto hit like a double or something, and he's like, oh my God, this is the guy.
It's the guy.
I've seen people saying that Grant McCrae is supposed to be on the roster this season. I mean, I do like speed, but I don't think so.
No, I don't see that happening.
I mean, it looks like we're pretty much going to be where we were last year, other than the fact that Jung Hoo Lee can play right field now. And other than that, there's not a lot of, with Bader in center, not a lot of big changes in our outfield as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
I will say the spring trading stuff, like when I've watched it, it's been fun. It's been mostly fun just to hear the announcers' voices again, because Kuiper's out there doing games. Miller's been out there doing games. That's been really fun. But it's just, it's nice to see wins. There's been a couple of our pitching guys, like Roop had a couple of really nice starts early on. So it's like there's some encouraging moments, but again, it's like I don't know. I think I know what this team is. I'm just ready to see what they could do against the West this year. I actually feel like decent this year for the first time in a couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of not being very decent, there's kind of a few guys a little surprising here for spring. I mean, everyone goes through cold spells, and these guys are, not all of them, but some of them are locked up as starters, so it really doesn't matter. But you have Wisenhunt with 10 earned runs and 9 1/3. Blade Tidwell, he came over in the Tyler Rogers trade. He was already optioned to Sacramento. He was just not good this spring. 700 runs in 6 2/3, and that did not include Team USA, where he was smashed against them. Bryce Eldridge, it's weird. It's kind of been a tale of 2 spring trainings. He has struck out a tremendous amount, 19 Ks and 39 at bats. This is before today's game if he played, which is insane. That's almost 50%. But when he makes contact, his exit velocity is like over 90 miles an hour. He's just been hitting the ball hard when he does hit the ball. He just whiffs way too much. So that's going to be a bit of a concern. Devers, 2 for 21, and Adames, 4 for 37. And then I saw him strike out today against Ohtani, which, hey, most of them are going to strike out against Ohtani. But, look, Adames, he had a slow start last year. He ended up with 30 bombs. Devers had a couple of stretches where he was, not doing so well, but you look at his stats at the end of the year, pretty damn good. Eldridge, of course, Eric and I saw his debut with the Giants down in Arizona. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully he holds his own, but the question is, with these cuts coming up, is it controversial to think that Eldridge may not make the roster because he still has options left?
It's not, but also I don't think we're heading that direction. I think it's time to let the kid. He's not gonna play every day, right?
Yeah.
But the fact is, you got a lefty in Devers and a lefty in Eldridge, so it's kind of weird. It's not really a platoon situation either. But I think he needs to see some big league pitching consistently. I don't want him to go down to AAA, start raking again, and then it's just like we're just bouncing him back and forth. I think he needs to just be on the big league squad for a while, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and he's going to strike out.
Lose.
It's part of the deal.
But we're gonna lose somewhere. Like I'm just writing down names right now, and obviously the starting infield is Devers, Arise, Adames, and Chap, and then you've got, like I said, Christian Cost has been having a good spring. Casey Schmidt has been having a good spring as well, and I mean they're gonna lose. I mean, how many? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outfielders, 4 infielders. That's 9. So what do you got?
I'd say it's a little tricky. But Schmidt is kind of your
Schmidt's
jack of all trades, though, right? So
right, and they're trying to do that with Cost. They threw him out in center field the other day for a little bit to try to make him more versatile, which to me was a sign that they want to keep Cost instead of dropping him down. So I mean, I guess looking at my list there's 26-man roster, and I got 5, 6, 11 names here. So I mean, there is room with the DH spot
to
I
think that's where he ends up playing. I think
I think you're right.
DH early on, and I think we don't really have like a platoon situation set up anywhere right now with that either. Depending on what our outfield situation looks like, because you can put Elliott in the DH spot as well, right?
Yeah, but it's Devers or Eldridge probably for the most part, I would think.
I think so. Yeah.
So I bet he does. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he'll make the team out of camp and get those at bats.
And he's a tall guy, big strike zone, swings hard. He's going to strike out. It's just part of the deal, right? That's really not a big issue to me, especially when I don't see him batting like 5 right now. You know what I mean? I see him in like the 6 or 7 spot most of the time.
Yeah,
I know he's got the
power.
power.
I agree with you there.
But you put him back there where it's just like, hey, sometimes he tanks one, and you're not super concerned about him being a part of like a rally. You know what I mean? He's just a guy who he's going to give you a 3-run homer every now and then. He's going to smash a double off the wall, and sometimes he's going to strike out 19 times out of 30.
Yeah, just a few times he's going to come up with runners on base and 2 outs and strike out. That's whatever.
Well, yeah, we talked about it on the last show, a projected lineup, and Chad and I slotted him in at 8th.
Okay,
behind Bader.
I like that.
Who we see as a 7th hitter.
No, what he's also leading the team in, though, by the way, is walks. So, hey.
I was going to bring that up. He's got 40 at-bats. Right. He's got 40 at-bats. Where's the PAs? There they are. He's got 50 plate appearances, the most on the team, and he's leading the team in walks, like you said. So it shows his eye is definitely there.
Yeah, I think he's definitely maturing a little bit. Like I feel like last year when I saw him, it was basically like he would get to a 2-strike count. And you're like, I see what's coming, like a high inside fastball, or they're going to drop a curveball in the dirt, and he's going to whiff completely. This time, it hasn't really been. He's been able to lay off a little bit. So that's all you really want from a guy who's this young with this much potential, right? It's just growth. Just show me growth.
And of course, as we know, the Giants would not screw up a young prospect by jerking him around between the minors and the majors. So I'm sure they'll handle this with a very, very even head.
Yeah, they still have, I'd say, at least I think it's 13 more cuts or something like that. I know they had a couple of more today. Talking about the catcher position, we know who's going to be starter, but who's going to be the backup. And right now, you were mentioning Eric, because after I put the notes together, I guess this happened. Jesus Rodriguez was cut, but that leaves Daniel Susac and Eric Haas. And I think most writers are kind of pointing to Daniel Susac, who's got a little pop. I mean, what do you guys think about that for the backup? It seems like the Giants every year have a different backup. In fact, they've had multiple backups throughout the year, every year for the last couple. It's been really, really kind of an odd situation to me anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Susak's fine. What's funny is I was worried a little bit about Bailey not being quite as effective with the challenges, this season. It turns out he's incredibly effective because of the challenges. He's even more effective now. He's stealing more strikes than ever before. It's pretty insane to watch. The backup, Susak's a big boy. I like it. Give me a 24-year-old who's 6'5", plays catcher. Love that.
He is Andrew Susak's younger brother. He's from Roseville.
Oh, he is. I was wondering about that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I suspected it's not the most common name. Huh,
right.
No kidding. Well, there you go.
Yeah, he's. I was just looking him up the other day. He was picked in the first round too. I mean, this guy's like legit. A prospect. He's just behind Bailey. He's not going to overtake anybody here, but maybe he does something.
He's 10 years younger than Andrew.
Yeah.
Damn.
And he's 24.
Oh, that's crazy.
He was definitely a surprise. His parents were like,
he must have been a surprise baby for sure. Whoopsies. Gotta buy diapers again. Thanks, honey. I
was going to say the depth of catching with Rodriguez and Susak is good, being 23 and 25 years old. Rodriguez is only 23.
Yeah, and Rodriguez has got some promise. He came over in the Duvall trade from the Yankees, so a little bit more of a hitter. They've been trying him out at outfield and DH positions as well. His utility may not be ultimately as a catcher as we go forward, but I like the Giants being flexible. I like that. It's kind of one of those things where Arise, he had been kind of relegated to first base because of his subpar defensive metrics at second base, but he really wanted to play second. And not many teams were going to be willing to give him that situation. They were giving him multi-year offers, but it was all to play first base. And the Giants were one of the few teams, if not the only team, that said, yeah, come play second for us. So, the Giants are definitely, showing their ability or willingness, I should say, to try guys at different positions, but also, to listen to a 300 hitter and a guy who gets on base all the time, say, yeah, come play second base. Just don't cost us more runs than you produce. That'd be nice, please. But, Willie, you brought up the ABS system with Bailey, and that was exactly what we talked about last time, was the fact that he was perfect up until that point with ABS challenges. And the fact that it's a very low percentage of pitches that are challenged per game. So it's not going to take away from his framing job, because a lot of these situations are not going to dictate that a hitter's going to challenge a pitch with nobody on and 2 outs in the third inning. They're not going to challenge it because they don't want to waste one of their 2 challenges. Their manager's going to get pissed at them. So in reality, there's very few pitches that are going to be challenged. Most of them are going to be in late game situations. But in the meantime, whether he's doing a good job or not framing, which of course he generally does, he has such a freaking good eye. He can absolutely, and he has so far, called it every time. He's just like, nah, that was a strike, taps his helmet, and they're like, oh yeah, look at that. What do you know? He was right. Strikeout.
What do you guys think about the system so far? I don't know if you guys talked it through last time you guys did a show without me, but so far it seems like it hasn't really caused a lot of interruption in the game. They're quick. To me, it feels like, like you said, you can't abuse it. You can't just do it every single time. And the fact that only the batter, the hitter, and the pitcher can do it, or the batter, the catcher, and the pitcher can do it, I think is also, like, you don't want some guy short being like, hey, well, hold on, I got a really good look at that.
Like, wait a minute, I'm centered up. I saw that.
I've felt like, I had talked about in the past, like, if we were going to add a system where the umpire doesn't even have to call it, he just gets like a buzz if it's a strike, and then he can just do the hand motion. I don't know if I really want that. I think this is a kind of a perfect little balance in between where you still get a pit or an umpire's strike zone matters, but in an important situation, like, say, I don't know, the 9th inning of a World Baseball Classic, you might be able
to bring that up.
You might be able to say, hold on a second. That shouldn't have been
ABS. Yeah, ABS will be in the WBC for sure next time. Like you said, it goes pretty quick. It doesn't really delay the game. There are even teams that are instructing pitchers to not do it and only let the catcher make the challenge. And I think the Giants should do that as well. I really do.
Hell yeah.
Because pitchers are emotional.
Exactly. That's what I was just about to say. The pitchers have an emotional connection to thinking it's a strike, whereas the catcher doesn't really give a crap. You know what I mean? He's back there also. He's the one who's talking to the umpire the entire game, right? So he can I can see sometimes you call you tap your helmet and an umpire would get a little pissed off at you. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. that wasn't
Totally.
the one. You know what I mean? And so you have to kind of play politics with it a little bit.
In my umpiring days, I used to have pitchers that would whine to me about the strike zone, and the catchers would go out to them and be like, "Shut the F up. The strike zone is fine. You are missing it. That's what's happening here." So, I appreciate the catcher's perspective way more. It's going to be like anything else in baseball. We're going to get used to it within the first year, and every year after that, it'll just be like it's been there. Like the clock, like the ghost runner. All those things.
There was a couple of small changes they made. I don't know if you guys looked them over, but I think they finally defined what a check swing is for the first time ever. Did you guys see this?
Mm-mm.
No, but I can't imagine that they would.
I'll have to look it up, but there was a couple of small. They kind of put the official these are the things we're adopting for sure this year, and one of them was there's an actual definition of a check swing now.
I can tell you that umpires. Their definition of a check swing or not check swing has always been if the bat crosses the front of the plate.
Yeah.
So if they're down the line and they see the bat past that front corner of the plate, then they're going to ring up the swing attempt. If not, they'll put out the safe sign and say no swing. And that's what I used to go by too. That's what I was taught by the major league umpires. So whether or not it's been a definition, I'm sure that would be the definition of it, is whether or not the bat head crosses the front corner of the plate.
Yeah, that's what I've always felt too. Like having it be somewhat subjective was always a little bit weird, but I do understand. Like sometimes a check swing, it's like to me, it's like, did you make an attempt to hit the ball? It's similar to like golf. Like if you made an attempt to strike the ball, that's a stroke, right? But if you're just like waggling the club, like as you're setting up, it's always the joke when you accidentally tap it off the tee and they're like, "That's one." And you're like, "No, it's not." Like an idiot. But like if you were to hit the ball, would it have like gone into play? Could you have popped it up? Could you, you know what I mean? Could you have actually done something with it? I think that's kind of what they've always gone for. But yeah, they actually, I still Google it. Now it's giving me stupid AI stuff. Hold on, I'll find this. I will find it.
Good old AI. You know what was interesting about the ABS is that the system itself, I don't have it up in front of me, but it's like the bottom of the strike zone is 27% of your height, and the top of the strike zone is like 53% of your height, and of course the width is known. And if it's anything that crosses, just the outside edge of the ball crosses the black, it's got to be at least 0.1 inches off the plate or whatever it is. It's interesting because there's like three definitions of the strike zone, really, when you think about it. There's the rulebook definition, there's the ABS definition, and then there's what you would consider the umpire's definition, which, of course, is the human element there, right? And they're not going to be exactly right on their own calls all the time. So you really have kind of a melding of three different strike zones being put in all at once. And it's like, well, the ABS is primarily going to be in the driver's seat for close calls in late games. The umpire's strike zone is going to be kind of in the driver's seat for the majority of the game, especially in the early half of the game. It's going to be interesting just because things are going to differ a little bit as the game progresses based on those situations where a ball that may have been outside and called a strike earlier, that same pitch is now going to get challenged and now it'll be overruled as a ball, or vice versa. So it's going to really make... I think, we were talking about this last time, there are definitely going to be some games that are flipped on its head because of this call. I mean, obviously, you had a great example of the Dominican Republic, right? That ball was technically the worst call of that entire game. It was 4 inches below the zone. And if Dominican Republic had gotten another chance, they would have had runners on the corners at that point. Who knows what would have happened. But I think you're going to see situations like that where it's going to be a strikeout to end the game that gets challenged, and then the guy walks, and then the next guy delivers a game-winning single or something like that. It's going to be crazy when it does happen, though.
Yeah, but I mean, this is what. I mean, as a Giants fan, there's been many times where we watched the game end in unsatisfying ways.
Yes.
I mean, everybody remembers the
21 DS. Yep.
Wilmer did not go.
Yeah. He did. But I mean, if I'm the Dominican Republic, I'm like furious that I don't get an actual chance here. I mean, that's one of the toughest pitches to hit, period, right? It's throwing like 103 mile an hour fastballs, like at the top of the zone. And then he's dropping this like nasty dookie breaking stuff. And yeah, that was below the zone, but I mean, I see why the umpire thought it was a strike. First of all, the framing job was really, really good. Will Smith is very good at that as well. And it did kind of start up and then dropped down below his knees at the plate. But to the umpire's perspective, it might have looked like, that was close enough with 2 strikes. I don't know. Are you really going to want to take that pitch all the time? So, yes, it was a bad call. These are the types of things. This is why it's there, so they can overturn that type of scenario.
Yeah.
But it's still baseball, dog. Like, people were like bitching and moaning, like the Dominican Republic was definitely going to win if that was called a ball. And I'm like, it was still 2 outs, runners on the corners.
Yeah.
We're still technically supposed to win the game from there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. With a pitcher who hadn't given up a hit in 50 at-bats throwing the ball. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Feel pretty good about things.
No, I think the odds were still in the U.S.'s favor. It's just, it's just, as a baseball fan, it's like if it's close, if it's an inch or something like that, you're like, that's human. That's the human fuzziness around the strike zone. 4 inches to me is that's where it's unacceptable. It really is. And the umpire was fooled. Clearly, he's not saying, he's not betting on the game. He's not trying to give it to the U.S. I'll get all that. He must have just been really, really fooled because he had not called that at all the entire game, and yet that was his worst call, and it ended up being strike 3 to end the game. It sucked for the Dominican Republic.
I think there was against Juan Soto earlier in the game. He had called the ball.
Soto got screwed twice. Yeah, he got screwed twice earlier in that game.
Like it had been proven that could get called a strike at some point. I don't remember when it had happened, but I just remember there was another pitch where I was like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, there was another low one to Soto. I remember that one, but I believe the vertical difference was 2 inches or 3 inches.
Yeah. This was definitely worse. Yeah. Worse, but also, I mean, it's a pitcher who throws 103 to 105.
Well, I know. I'm not saying I could call that. Are you kidding me?
His breaking stuff is still 92. You know what I mean?
That thing just dropped off the table. I would have been like, strike.
Yeah,
I probably would have called it.
Disgusting pitch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Dominican Republic, like, there's a lot of people I think it was Soto who said, like, well, we proved who the best team was. It's like, well, nah, dog, you scored 1 run.
Right. That was a really bitter response. I was like, bro, come on, man. Yeah. Like, you didn't prove anything.
You guys were mashing earlier, and then the United States pitching came out and did a really good job.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
So.
Yep. All right, so we were talking about the outfield competition, and I think one thing that really mucks it up is a lot of these guys are out of options, and so the Giants have some decisions to be made here in the next week or so. The ones that are kind of on the bubble in terms of making the team and they're out of options are Luis Matos, Jose Butto, Encarnacion, and Matt Gage. That's kind of who I was looking at in terms of options and kind of on the bubble right now. I mean, first of all, do you guys agree with that list? Would you add anyone else to it? And then secondly, I think only 2 of those 4 are going to be on this team. And if that holds true, what's your argument for who you want to keep?
Yeah, we carry 5, right? Am I right? Is that correct?
For
that's
the outfielders?
Yeah. We got 3 and then 2 more. So
most likely
I guess the question is Drew Gilbert on the team or not? Because doesn't he still have options, right? Like last year, he seemed like the most energetic and exciting one.
Right.
But I think personally that Matos has the most experience. So Matos and Encarnacion seem like the 2 guys where you'd want that potential up there. But Drew Gilbert's more fun to me. So I don't really know what they're gonna do. But you're right about these guys are out of options. It's gonna like outright release or try to get something back for them. That sucks.
Well, they're trying to figure it out because Encarnacion and Matos have the second most plate appearances of anybody this spring. Mm-hmm. Even Grant McCray, he's got the 6th most plate appearances, and I'm trying to find Drew Gilbert on this list. He's only got 24 plate appearances.
I don't feel like he's going to be on the squad. I haven't seen him at all.
I don't think so either. My argument would be all 4 of those guys. All 4 of the guys you mentioned, I think, will make the club. I think Matos and Encarnacion will be the backup outfielders. Apparently, Tony V has taken a shine to Gerard, and I mean, he sees the potential that we all see. Is the guy can flip a game on one swing, but we've never really seen it translate to competitive, regular season ball. And I don't see why Butto
friggin' pulls like an ACL like the moment he walks onto the field. And
the guy's injured all the time. I know.
It sounds weird, but that's kind of why you put him on the team, because you figure if he gets injured, you're going to call up Drew Gilbert anyways.
Yeah.
And I mean, there is only one. Let's see, Ramos, Bader, Lee, Gerard, Matos. That's who I have in the outfield right now.
Yeah, that's it.
So
yeah.
I could see that happening. And Buto and Gage, I think both make the team. I really do. I think that the Giants like Buto, and they've always seemed to like Gage as well. Let's see what the depth chart says. Yeah, I mean they're both kind of listed there as possibilities.
They're listed as bullpen right now. You know. So I mean they're there, and like they look at the other names. Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys who are still on there that are not going to be there come opening day.
Right. Right. Well, if they have
as we've been talking, I've been jotting down names of bullpen guys that I think will, because the rotation's got to be Webb, Ray, Roop, Hauser, and Malley, right? I mean, that's going to be it. Birdsong obviously proved, especially because he might have to have Tommy John surgery, that he's not going to end up being a starter. And then, like you said, you look at these names, you know, Spencer Bivens probably has a place in the bullpen, but you don't know if JT Brubaker does. The Sam Henkes guy, I have no idea how he's been doing. Trevor McDonald's another question mark. Joel Peguero, he's a possibility.
I think you're looking at Bivens, Lucchesi, Beck, Buto, Seymour, Walker. Like there's a lot. Eric Miller. There's a lot of names already there, so it's like there's not a lot of space for like Dabovich. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, buddy.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
You know, these guys are not going to be on the team.
I think they're going to roll with Buto at least. I think Gage, I guess, would be the more one. I'd be curious to see what happens with him.
Yeah, he's got nasty stuff, but he's definitely been around for a while, so it's just a matter of consistency, I think, for him. That's one of the things I just wanted to bring up, even though I mentioned it earlier, was the fact that if they do have kind of a really tough situation and they can't make a call, but they're kind of like, well, we could bring up Eldridge in a month, you could potentially see a reason to keep him down. I'm not saying that a Encarnacion or Matt Gage or Buto or Matos is worth putting Eldridge down. I'm just saying sometimes it's a mathematical game, right? It's Tetris, and sometimes they move parts for these reasons, right? Give a guy, like, we want to see him for a month. We want to see him in April, see how he does. And if it doesn't work out, then we'll release him. We'll bring up, Eldridge or something like that. Just throwing out as a possibility. I think Eldridge will make the team, but just throwing it out there. Could see that. All right. Before we get to the WBC, I was doing other stuff today after I did the notes, and man, I missed. I guess they had the ballpark food fest today, huh, Eric?
Oh,
yeah, that's what it looked like. The beat writers were tweeting about it. They were pointing out that there's now Chick-fil-A signage on the foul pole.
Signage on the foul poles. I'm hoping
there is not
in the ballpark.
There won't be. That's the thing. They found that out today. There will not be Chick-fil-A in the park.
It's weird.
And there's not even a Chick-fil-A restaurant in the city of San Francisco.
No, there's not.
No.
I don't even know where the closest one is. I think you have to go south.
Actually, I wondered about that. Are there Chick-fil-A's? I know they have the foul poles. Do they serve Chick-fil-A at any of the stadiums? And if they do they serve on Sundays? Because they don't at their regular stores.
Oh, they
just
don't.
Curious.
Yeah, they don't. Their stores close on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be kind of crazy. Going, I can't wait to have Chick-fil-A at the park today. Oh, it's Sunday. Never mind.
Yeah. Sorry, it's Sunday. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No chicken on Sunday for you. Yeah, I guess we missed that email, or we're no longer on the list. I don't know. I couldn't have made it, but obviously if we had known, maybe Willie could have, because that's what I've really enjoyed the last couple of years, going out there for the food taste test, making a little video and all that. Again, I couldn't drive this year, so I wouldn't have made it, but it would have been nice to have known. But they did make one announcement today, Eric, and you put them in the notes. Why don't you go ahead and tell everyone what that is?
Yeah, during Larry Baer's talking session with the media, he said that Brandon Belt, Brandon Crawford, Joe Panik, Buster Posey, and Pablo Sandoval are all going on the Wall of Fame in August together. So that's going to be a hell of a ceremony. I'm trying to think. Yeah, everybody does fit in the parameters, I think, that they used to put out there for the Wall of Fame. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's cool that the core of their main championship teams, I mean, Belt and Panik was only there for 14, obviously, but Pablo was there for all three. Posey was there for all three, but Belt and Craw were only there for 2. But but it's kind of cool. I mean, we had the core 4 pitchers go up together, so you kind of like this nod. But I mean, let's be honest, Buster Posey deserves a damn statue.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that'll eventually happen.
I think he can't commission his own statue though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think you gotta wait till he's not the one who might sign off on that.
Yeah, he's like, I think that's great.
Yeah. I can't see him doing it, but that is cool. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, that's got to be it from that era, though, right? After the core 4 and then these 5 guys, there's nobody else to add to the Wall of Fame. I mean, is Bumgarner even on the Wall of Fame?
I was about to ask, is Bumgarner on there? Because I don't know if he actually was officially added. I cannot remember if there was a ceremony for him. Because I don't know why he wouldn't be on there eventually. Like, I don't know if they want to give him his own.
If you were part of all 3 of them, you should be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but for me, you're there for all of them. Yeah. Put your ass on
right now. I don't see Bumgarner listed on the Giants Wall of Fame people.
I don't recall
still
his
not
ceremony.
Retired. I actually don't know his status.
Maybe Maybe that's
Maybe there's something to that where they're like, we don't want to put a guy who hasn't put his papers in yet. On the wall.
Just in case. He's like an R.A. Dickey, comes back with a knuckleball at age 45, and he's like, I'm still pitching, guys.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can't take away the the crafty delivery, right? Where you hide the ball for a long time. If you can develop a knuckleball, go for it.
Yeah, so obviously Bumgarner would be an obvious candidate.
Yeah, he's probably
the
only one left. He's the only one.
But out of that core, boy, yeah, I don't know. But that's gonna be cool, man.
We should have like a bench of fame that's like near it, where you can put like Cody Ross on there, Scudero,
a bench of fame.
Yeah,
Michael Moores.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Moores needs a spot. He had a moment,
People who had really cool things to do in like 1 year with the Giants.
Yeah. People who did. I mean, think about Panic, really, though. I mean, Panic really had that one double play, and then he was kind of good for.
And like, I think one Gold Glove. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy on this list that surprises me the most. I can see Belt, I can see Croft, I can see Posey, I can see Sandoval, but honestly, I'm not in agreement with putting Panic on the Wall of Fame.
I know Panic has absolutely the shortest tenure out of that whole group. I mean, I'm actually very shocked that he's going to be put on the Wall of Fame. Like, that's really surprising.
Yeah, I mean that's why we need the bench. That's where Juan Uribe goes.
He's on the bench of fame.
There we go. Mike Fontenot. He goes on the bench.
Mike Fontenot.
Yeah, I mean, if Joe Panic's going to make it, why can't Freddie Sanchez make it? You know what I mean? Like
little Scudero action, right? Come on.
Exactly.
Oh,
3 doubles.
That's fantastic. Oh my God. Well, anyway, that's cool. That's going to be a great ceremony in August. Oh boy.
Aubrey Huff gets
just
like
put the song on the wall. Forget Huff. Put the song on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's got to be new fans that don't know what I'm talking about when I say that. That don't know about the rally thong from the 2010 Giants. We're 16 years out of that.
By the way, even though it was basically unofficially confirmed a long time ago in terms of Pat Burrell being the machine, in a recent interview, I watched it, he actually finally copped to it. It was definitely him. Oh. So,
okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we were.
The statute of limitations has gone on long enough. He's like, yeah. They won't pick me up over anything I did as a machine.
Another reference. Somebody 2006 is not going to understand. It's so funny how it's burned into our mind from that era of Giants.
Yeah,
baseball.
I mean, if I eat enchiladas, they're always rally enchiladas. But
rally enchiladas. They're always rally enchiladas.
Yeah.
No, he was retelling the story about Brian Wilson and setting that all up, and Wilson knew someone that had some of that gear, and it was sent to him, and anything. Anyway, it just kind of happened that way, and that was him walking in the background of the Chris Rose interview.
Oh yeah.
Burrow has a body for it, so it makes sense.
Oh yeah, I think we all knew. Not that we study their bodies, but it was kind of like that looked like Pat Burrell.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, it probably wasn't the strength and conditioning coach. I know, I do, right? I miss those times, actually.
Seems so innocent the back in the 2010 year, And like I said, here we are 16 years later. I still can't believe that. And doing the 16th season of Torture Cast. I mean, we talked about that a little last week. It's crazy how long we've been doing this, thanks to you, Willie, and Ben, and Mike, who started it up.
Forever ago.
I mean, right. I mean, it's crazy to think that we've been doing this for so long. Another thing that struck me was I was looking at the roster for the Giants. There's not a single guy, and I mean, I guess this makes sense, but there's not a single guy born in the 80s. Everybody's in the 90s or the 2000s. That's another thing that made me feel a little old, you know?
Yeah, Jesus
I mean,
Christ,
every year removed makes it even worse. But, you know, those were some fun years.
I guess so, right? Because if you're born in 1990, you're going to be turning 36 this year. So
right,
that's pushing it. That's old age. It's more than old age in baseball. So yeah, that makes sense. Everyone's got to be born in the 90s. Yeah, you go to 89, and now you're getting up there. So
yeah, I'm looking. Robbie Ray, 91. I think he might be the oldest that I'm seeing here. Yeah, 91 looks like from the active roster, at least. You know, he's the oldest guy on the team. 91, 35 years old. He'll be this year. That is.
Holy crap! And I remember when it turned 1990. My very first movie I watched was Blues Brothers that year. I don't know why I remember it, but I do.
Great movie.
And the irony was that Blues Brothers was made in 1980, and so yeah. Of course, the movie's only 10 years old then. now it's what, 46?
40.
That's a little crazy. Okay, yeah, we're doing well here. All right, before we wrap up, let's talk a little about the World Baseball Classic. I mean, I think every 3 years, this is getting more and more momentum. I think Bryce Harper, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, kind of put the kibosh on some of the Team USA players. Like, look, these are guys who signed up because they are proud to represent their country. They wanted to do that, Aaron Judge and Bryce Harper and others. But on the other hand, Bryce Harper said, well, this isn't the Olympics, guys. Like, I hope baseball comes back to the Olympics because that's where it really counts. And so it was kind of like he was already almost poo-pooing the WBC as like, it's a nice tournament. I want to play for America, but it's still not the Olympics, you know? And I think it definitely made itself known, and it has every year on the field, because the USA goes out there and Aaron Judge, you know, last night's championship game is carrying the flag and he's like, hey, what's up, everybody? Everyone's like tipping their caps. Hey, how you doing? You get these other teams from Venezuela and Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, right? They are just out of their minds excited about these wins and home runs and everything else. I mean, they have all these ceremonies and handshakes, and they just go batshit crazy. And these are major leaguers, many of them, who are celebrating like this. So it's not like some of these guys have been in World Series before, and yet they're out here in the WBC like it's the best thing they've ever done. And I don't know, it's cool to see. I think it means a lot to the sport. I think it's great internationally. I think it's good for the game. The U.S. players just didn't seem to have any of that, to be honest.
Well,
it was very lackluster.
It showed up like they'd already won the damn thing, which is a little annoying. And honestly, you know, I should be rooting for Team USA, but honestly, I was rooting for Italy. I was rooting for Venezuela. I was rooting for the Dominican Republic. You said, these were the teams that seemed to really care. I got to be honest. I think this is better than if it was in the Olympics. The Olympics, it gets overshadowed by all the millions of other things that are going on. This is like the only thing happening right now. And the fact that you can do it like in all these different places, like imagine if it was the Olympics, right? Everything has to be in Italy. You know what I mean? All of it has to be in Italy. So all these players have to go to Italy for this thing. So it's off season too. It's not even during like the spring training time when you can actually like use this as a way to get these guys going for the season. So the fact that like you could have like games in Puerto Rico, games in Houston, like games in Japan, and then at the end they all come together for the final 16. That was amazing, and that's the way it should go. You know what I mean? Like, you also had situations like an 18-year-old gets to pitch against like the very like last year's MVP of the American.
Dude, that was a
high
high schooler, a senior in high school who got to face Aaron Judge. That was amazing.
Yeah, and got him
an
out.
electrician pitching for Czechoslovakia.
Exactly.
You know, and it was brought up. If you're not a major league player or in a major league system, that guy should have been able to throw 9 innings if he wanted to. There's no reason that guy has to have the cap on it. Baseball is back in the Olympics in 2028 in LA, and all the games will be at Dodger Stadium.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that actually.
So, I guess I'll care.
You have the issue though with the summertime because I know the NHL had a little bit of an Olympic break when they allowed NHL players to play in the Olympics, but baseball traditionally has not had professional players in the Olympics when we did have the sport in the Olympics because you got the season going on. So you've heard that they're actually trying to allow that to happen.
They're trying, and the WBC itself served as a qualifying round. There'll be 5 teams at the Olympics. The United States is guaranteed because they're the home team. Then 2 more from the Americas, and that would be Dominican and Venezuela because they advanced far in the World Baseball Classic. Mm-hmm. Italy does not get automatically in. They're going to have to fight for it, and I believe Japan clinched for the Asia Oceania. So there's 1 spot open, and there's going to be a couple tournaments taking place full of a bunch of guys that aren't even going to play in the Olympics when it comes time.
Yeah, see, that's what's weird about it. But
yeah, but I'm like you, Willie. I was rooting. Like, Italy was so much fun to watch. I love the espresso machine, the hand gestures, the Armani jacket. The fact that they just leaned into being Italian. Vinny Pasquantino was the perfect captain for that team, and they really, in their minds, that were doing it so that kids in Italy could see that baseball's fun. You saw a quote saying, I hope that these kids in Italy see in 20 years this could be them doing it, because they had like 19 major league affiliated players on their roster, I believe, and those guys they were good. They showed themselves. I mean, let's also give some credit where it's due. They had really good coaching on the Italy side. Cervelli was the manager. But you know who
they had? Ron Wotus,
right?
baby.
Yeah, exactly. Ron Wotus and Dave Righetti.
Was the pitching coach.
Yeah.
So you got to think that had something to do with it. It was the right place, right time, and they were really a lot of fun. And I think the final would have been way more fun. Venezuela versus Dominican. That stadium would have been even louder. I mean, like you said, the U.S. showed up like they'd want. They showed up like it was a business trip. Sure. And I get trying to have that mentality. But Cal Raleigh refusing to shake hands because of something Team USA discussed, and then with his actual teammates in the majors, and then literally the very next day, Dominican and Venezuela are playing, and Contreras is hugging the leadoff guy. I don't remember who it was.
Nobody cares.
Contreras and Acuna are hugging. They're dapping it up. Some guy gets the first. They're teasing each other. I mean, like where was the fun? It did not seem like the USA cared if they were there or not. And I don't know. Maybe these other countries just have a little chip on their shoulder because we did invent the game, so they feel like they've got to prove themselves to us. But I mean, Venezuela proved a ton. Dominican, like you said, they had a great run, and watching Italy go on the run was really fun. I was happy to see Japan get knocked out early because, I mean, in the quarterfinals, just because we needed some fresh blood, and Venezuela brought that.
The Venezuela is like the perfect team to win this thing, in my opinion. I mean, it also, I was amazed that they were able to not bring up the fact that we had literally just taken out their leader like 6 months ago or whatever. Not even that long ago.
I know. I keep thinking about that too. I was
by the way,
really?
They're like, this is quite the matchup considering the USA just arrested the president of this country not that long ago.
Yeah.
No, but by winning the WBC, Venezuela has freed Maduro now.
Yeah, I think so. And he's back. Yeah.
That was mid-writing. Trump made that deal a while ago, and
I'll release him if you win the WBC. Right? Exactly.
I mean, Dominican Republic versus Venezuela would have been an absolute epic.
Would have been amazing
though too.
Yeah, that would have been fun too.
I do think like the Team USA came out like gangbusters, and then it was just like you said, like they just didn't have the energy. They couldn't match what the other teams were doing, and they were treating it like like the fact that Screwball's like, well, I could only pitch once. It's like, shut the hell up. What are you talking about? Like, so you're gonna go back to spring and then pitch there, and that's different somehow? Like, none of this makes sense, dude. None of this makes sense.
Last night, DeRosa, there's no reason Mason Miller should not be pinching the 9th inning of a tie game. But apparently DeRosa was told only use him in a save situation. Sure. Well, there's not always a save situation. The moment that it became tied going into the 9th inning, the save situation was gone. So if he's going to throw an inning, just let him throw the freaking inning. Yeah. I really think the U.S. had a chance to win last night if Miller has the 9th inning instead of Whitlock. Not that Whitlock's bad in any stretch.
Fine. Yeah.
Right. But you got a guy throwing 103 with balls that drop off the table, like we saw in the DR game. So
and I gotta be honest, when we gave up one, I was like, that's it, it's over. Like we cannot score. We cannot score this game. Like I was amazed that Harper hit that one out.
Yeah, they had 3 hits. Okay, so they had 3 hits. Yeah. That's it. And Harper ran into one, and that tied the game. Awful. That made it real exciting. But man, their offense was just crap last night. It was just crap. But I agree with Eric. I could not believe Miller was not in the ninth.
Sure. Yeah. But like, what was the? I mean, you look at the other teams. They got their starters are going like 5.5 innings and stuff like that, and they're like, these guys actually care. You know what I mean? Like, and then we got our guys who are like, yeah, no, I can only pitch 3. It's like, Logan Webb can throw like 140 pitches anytime if he wants to, right? Like, I know it's early, but this is.
Is there even a way to fix this though? I mean, should they start doing it in the middle of the season? It takes about a week and a half for everything to play out. So
I know,
All-Star break?
I know it's fun to have like these superstars playing, but also, do we need to see Paul Skeens in Scooball, or would it be cool to see like some of the guys who are younger who like maybe give a crap more? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because those guys clearly didn't really give that much. I mean, not like they're old, but you know what I'm saying? Like we get to watch those guys plenty, and we know what they can do. It was really fun to see. Like these Italian pitchers, I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And then they're like, oh yeah. He did this in Double-A last year, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
he's like, this guy rules. Like that was to me more interesting. So maybe all-star teams aren't necessarily the way to go. Obviously, the Dominican Republic is going to be an all-star team, like that kind of stuff.
Venezuela, you're not going to talk those guys out of playing for their country. That's the thing. On the U.S. side, it's just different. We're just structured differently here. Yeah. And let's be honest. One of the shining stars for Team USA was our very own Logan Webb.
Yeah,
I mean, he only gave up that leadoff homer, and that was it. That's all he gave up.
That was it. Leadoff homer to what's his face's son. Man Ram's son, and that was it. Yeah, leadoff homer, and then nothing. 8 2/3, pitched and just 1 earned run. So yeah, he was amazing. So he was amazing. I mean, Arise, it was nice to see him with Team Venezuela as well. He ended up hitting 308 with 2 bombs and 10 RBIs. Jung Hoo Lee with Korea, he didn't hit well overall, 238, but he got hits at critical times.
He had some really big ones. He also had some good
big hits and some good plays.
By the way, did we know that Arias can actually just swing hard and hit home runs? Because like the couple that he hit were like, he jacked that ball. Like, and I don't see him swing the bat like that very often.
I know.
You know, like he really kind of dug into his back foot there and like let one fly, and he looked really, really good. It was weird. I was kind of hoping he was going to play second base, but because I'd like to see his chops out there, since we know that's what he's going to be doing. But he also didn't look terrible at first. So
no, he didn't look terrible. You had Ramos with Puerto Rico. He struggled. He's 1 for 16 in the tourney. Harrison Bader 214 with a bomb and 2 ribbies. Jose Buto for Venezuela.
With Israel.
Did I say? Who did I say?
Yeah. Bader played for Israel.
Yeah.
What
did I say?
Yeah, he played for
No, you didn't say anything. I said it.
I just didn't say it. Okay, yeah, for Israel. Sorry, 214, 1 and 2, and then Budo for Venezuela, 5 2/3 with only 1 hit given up. That was pretty sweet. He got in some action last night, and then Tristan Beck. Great Britain went out early, so he only had 1 1/3 innings. He gave up 1 bomb. And that was it. So those are the Giants, aside from the coaches that were represented on the different teams. But I mean, what did you guys think overall of the game itself? I mean, obviously Team USA, and it still isn't clear, like when DeRosa, he already made his comments prior to the game saying, well, since we already locked up the quarterfinals.
Yeah, we punched our ticket.
We punched our ticket. And everybody kind of went back to that and they said, wait a minute, does he not realize that they're technically not in yet? And then of course they go out and lose to Team Italy. Yeah. And then they gotta wait for the next game, and he's like, "Oh no, I just misspoke. Yeah, that was it. And I'm like, "Oh man, now he sounds like a politician."
The world's weirdest lineup that day, and apparently all the guys have been partying. Like it was, he fucked up.
No, that was the thing, is that you had the evidence to back it up. You had that they were dragging the next day. He was talking about how they were dragging, and then he had a really weird lineup. He had righties against righties. He wasn't pinch hitting when he should have pinch hit. Yeah, it was really strange. And so you're like, nah, you thought you were in. You thought you were in. And he just couldn't fully admit it after that game, and he was questioned. He's like, "Oh no, I just misspoke." And like, yeah, but what about the lineup? And what about the guys partying? Like, it all seems to add up to like you thought you were in. So I think that was a major F up. I don't think he's going to be managing the next WBC team.
No.
He's done it twice in a row. He's had his shot, right? And he failed both times. So he lost to Japan and he lost to Venezuela.
Yeah, some of this I think is going to prevent, like we whenever, with the Giants job opening up twice over the last few years, DeRosa has come up in our conversations every time. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they dodged the bullet because DeRosa was a disaster. Absolute disaster. I didn't like necessarily all his pitching moves either during some of the games, and I think that this was his chance to showcase that he could be a major league manager, and I think he's going to be an MLB Network studio analyst for the rest of his days. I don't think he's going to get a shot anywhere. Yeah,
I kind of agree with you. I do. He just made too many mistakes, and he was too cavalier with certain things. I think... Again, he wasn't cocky. It just seemed like, we got this in the bag. We got it. It's all good. Oh, we punched our ticket. We did that. It's like, dude, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like this team is taking it seriously. But they Team Italy, who ironically gave them their only loss in pool play, rescues them. They go on to the quarterfinals, and of course they end up beating Dominican Republic in the semifinals, which was a really tight game. They had the tying run there on third. We already talked about that. And then last night, man, you have Team Venezuela. I mean, they have a great team too. Maybe not as stacked as the U.S. or not as stacked as the Dominican Republic. But when it comes down to baseball, I mean, the NFL, they say any given Sunday. But I think it's really true with baseball as well. That's why typically in the playoffs you play series, right? Because... I mean, look, the Chicago White Sox can beat the LA Dodgers 1 out of 8 times. It happens. Crappy teams beat the better teams. And I do believe that if these two teams played 10 times, the U.S. would win 7 of them. I really do.
Sure.
But it doesn't matter, right? It's one game, so that's all you got.
They played one time.
So, and that was it. And so it's tough. Like you have one bad inning, and that could spell disaster for your team. And the U.S. pitching was fine. I mean, giving up 3 runs and 9 innings to that lineup isn't that bad. It's just the decision in the 9th, and it was a leadoff walk, which ended up scoring, of course, on the double. And then just their offense. That wasn't DeRosa's fault there.
We held Venezuela to 3 runs and the Dominican Republic to 1. Why did we not win the whole thing? You know what I mean? Like that's Team USA was supposed to be raking the entire time, and suddenly they just all stopped giving a crap or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what? The right team won, in my opinion. Right?
No, I think so too.
Roman Anthony
I think so too.
Was a revelation. It was like the young guys, Gunnar Henderson and Anthony coming up big when you didn't necessarily expect them. I'd never really watched Roman Anthony play ball, and watching him in this WBC, I mean, the Red Sox have themselves a good one. The guy's got unbelievable plate discipline for the age of 21. He can spray the ball all over the yard. So it was fun to see guys like that kind of come into their own. But the Harpers, the Cal Raleighs, even Aaron Judge. Kyle Schwarber, they didn't really come through in these last few games when it mattered the most. It's all well and good that Judge and Schwarber homered in pool play, but how about you do something in the games that are actually win or go home? And none of the superstars did. Absolutely
not.
They
thought they could just show up, and it turns out you still have to try.
Right.
Schwarber did have like a really good. Yeah, he had a good overall, but you're right. He disappeared. He disappeared right at the end.
Yeah.
Judge disappeared. Harper, I mean, he ran into one, like you said. He ran into one. Like, he didn't look good the rest of the at-bats. So it was weird. And, like, to me, honestly, the Team USA was part of the story, but the real story of the WBC was, like, watching those games in Puerto Rico. Like, the fans, like, going absolutely nuts.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, when those guys hit home run, being able to pimp home runs like you don't really get to do in the MLB because you might get plunked. I don't know, man. It's just fun as hell. It's really fun.
I love it.
Well,
I think it's fun to watch.
The surefire way that you can tell that this means more to the other countries is just look at the crowds that the United States had to face when they played Puerto Rico and Houston, and then when they played the DR and Venezuela. The United States was the road team on home soil. How do you have a tournament on your home soil?
You're in Florida.
And your fans are out in Texas. You're outnumbered 10-1. There was probably 10%, so maybe 9-1. Sorry. 10% of the stadium was U.S. fans. Everybody else was Venezuela. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing. It really, really is. And I suspect the Olympics, it'll be the same damn thing.
Yeah. No, I think that was huge. I mean, every time Venezuela did something, that stadium got so loud. And when U.S. did something like Harper's home run, it got a little loud, but nothing like when Venezuela scored. It was just night and day. And yeah, I think you're right. I think it was just kind of embarrassing. But, it is what it is. Hey, look, Team USA was put in their place. They lost. At least, Harper and a few other guys, they were classy. They went over there and, shook hands with the team and said, hey, congratulations, you guys deserve it, that kind of thing. And Venezuela, really they're going to take that back home and love it. So they earned it and made their people happy. By the way, I was yesterday years old when I learned what Venezuela actually means. It means little Venice. Little Venice. I never knew that.
Yeah.
That is so funny. I had no freaking idea, man. Because they were talking about
Francisco
Cervelli was born in, he was Venezuelan, but with Italian parents, or Italian father, I guess. So he grew up, having his grandmother make him pasta in Venezuela. And then they showed that graphic for the most pounds of pasta eaten per capita by year, and Venezuela was number 3 behind Italy, number 1, and I can't remember who's number 2, but I was like, okay, I guess I went my whole life not understanding or realizing that Venezuela has a huge Italian immigration or immigrant history. I did not know that. So, which is, the country was even named after Venice, which is hilarious. So anyway, a lot of cool connections between those two teams.
And ours was named after an Italian explorer. So apparently, being Italian,
Vespucci.
Right, you're gonna get stuff named after you.
If you're gonna beat the Giants, if you're gonna beat Team USA, you got to have some Italian blood going on. That's how it works apparently. All right, boys, I got to get out of here. I'm getting knocked on the door here, so got to go take care of this puppy. It's good talking baseball with you guys.
The puppy is knocking.
Season,
wow.
Well, no, someone's knocking about the.
That's an advanced puppy.
Yeah, no, he's learning.
He's trained well. All right.
But I'm assuming when the season starts up, we'll be doing this more often. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, we'll coordinate and do our preview episode.
All right, sounds good, boys. I'll see you later.
See ya.
Later.
All right. Yeah, I will have to be going here soon, but we're going to be wrapping up. Just 2 more things. One of them being the Giants did release their alternate uniform this year. One of them, anyway. It's going to be the Gigantes, and it's kind of cool. I put the picture of it in the show notes. This had already been leaked from jerseys earlier, and in fact, this particular iteration was already released in MLB The Show as an alternate jersey and gameplay. So a lot of people, I kind of saw this 3 or 4 days ago, but it was officially released today by the Giants. And it is a callback to the old block script from the 1980s Giants, home Giants, where you have those big block Giants letters, except it says Gigantes in the same font. But then I didn't read the history of it, but because it is Spanish, it looks like Mesoamerican kind of glyphs underneath. Kind of what you'd see in, the Aztecs or the Incas or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what the artwork is exactly for. It's all black with some orange piping and the Gigantes with that artwork. The numbers on the back have a little bit of that art style with it, and then their caps are all black with a black SF with a slightly different font in the interlocking, so you guys can check that out. Hey, look, these are better than their City Connect. That's all I have to say.
Yep, I like them, and they're a Saturday alternate. So we're gonna have these weekends again where the Giants wear 3 different jerseys for 3 different games in the same series, and I kind of don't like that because they'll probably be orange on Friday, black on Saturday, and then the cream on Sunday. I don't know, that's always bothered me. I like the Giants because they're so old and old school. I like when they just look like their natural self. But that's the font that you and I grew up on, right there. So I also do like it. They do look stylish. The numbers also have the same trim inside of them. It's got a patch on the sleeve. I like them. The Giants generally do those things well when it comes to Gigantes.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's not my favorite, but it's fine. Again, way better than the City Connect. Man, they have struck out. They're 0 for 2 on their City Connects. I cannot stand them. They're just the ugliest goddamn jerseys they're some of the worst out there. I mean, okay, the Padres take the cake, I think, for me, for worst City Connect, but these are not that far behind what they have going on right now. I just can't stand them. And that's not old man on lawn. That's just objectively true. Sorry. So, all right. Well, coming up, they had Dodgers today. They already lost that. They only have 4 more in Arizona, not including the prospect game tomorrow against the Reds, where their prospects are playing each other. Then they play in Sacramento against the River Cats on Sunday, and then instead of the A's or someone else like that at Oracle Park, they play 2 games against the Monterey Sultanes at Oracle Park on Monday and Tuesday before opening up the regular season versus the Yankees for all of MLB at 5:05 Pacific, and that will be kind of the main attraction that night. It'll be the only game going on in Major League Baseball, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
It's on Netflix too.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I have Netflix, that's fine, but I just feel bad for everyone who doesn't have Netflix. It's like, what are you guys doing? Like, seriously. It's getting really annoying because it's getting so fragmented. Yeah.
Yep. I'm not paying for Netflix for one game.
No, nor would I if we didn't have Netflix, for sure.
Right, and football, I had to get a trial of Prime to watch my Bears Packers game back in January. Pissed me off, and I've obviously gone and canceled that because I don't use Prime like I used to. But
no, it's frustrating.
I'm gonna be fishing. I'm gonna be fishing for a login.
Yeah, I don't know what the plans are this year. I haven't even looked into it. But in the past, you've had Apple TV having Friday Night Baseball, then you have MLB Network, and you have ESPN, and now you got Netflix, and you got Prime doing NFL Thursdays, and it's just
NBC.
it's just like, man, it's too fragmented. It's too fragmented. You can't pay for every single. I mean, that's the whole irony. We could do a whole podcast on that. But we used to just have cable, and then they introduced satellite, and then it was like, well, you can only get this channel if you pay for this entire package, which has 20 channels that you don't ever watch, and it costs an extra $10 a month. And you're like, fine, I need it for ESPN. Well, now if you want HBO, you got to find. But okay, now if you want, and it kept adding up to where bills were over $100, and we finally cut the cord. We had satellite, same thing. And then we went to YouTube TV, which started at like $50 a month. And then we had a couple of streaming services. I think we had Netflix and I don't even know what else. And now it's just been like more and more of the content that we watch is so fragmented, and more of these independent streaming services are getting deals for either particular IP brands or sports teams or leagues or whatever. And now, I mean, we're on Apple, we're on Paramount, we're on Peacock, we're on Netflix, and you add it all up, and YouTube now has gone up to $75 a month. We're back up over $100, Eric. Like, what's the point?
Yep.
And now it's harder even because it used to all be in one interface. One remote, one box, one interface. And now you're like, wait, what the hell is the game on? I don't even know. And you got to look at your phone. You got to look it up. You're like, oh, it's on Apple, or it's on Paramount, or it's on Peacock, or it's on. And you're like, God damn it. And then you got to log. Oh, shoot, I need to log in again. What's my login? I don't even remember. It's I hate this timeline, man. It sucks.
Right.
So now you got to be on Netflix.
Yeah, well, sums it all up.
We hate this timeline for probably other reasons more so, but we won't get into
reasons.
That. Yeah, many reasons. Many reasons.
Yeah, trust me, personally.
God. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Personally, you got a lot of stuff that's been happening, It's like, it's just like, what the hell? Anyway. But we still have baseball, 7 days till opening day. That'll be awesome. Follow along with us. We'll be back. We got to schedule our preview episode, which hopefully will be before opening day, but it may have to be the day in between, because they do have an off day, a really weird off day between the 25th and then the next game is the 27th, so we may have to squeeze it in there. We'll chat it out. We'll definitely put it out there. You can follow us at TorchCast on the Twitters, like us on Facebook. You can also email us at torchcast@gmail.com. Eric and I are both on social media, on Twitter at ChadK21 for myself, at 2outhits with the number 2 for Eric. And so Willie right now doesn't really have social media, so I won't be pimping anything there. But I think that'll do it, Eric. You got anything else?
No. It's I'm ready. Our next podcast, we will be talking about regular season Giants baseball. I'm pumped.
Oh, so finally here. I love it. It's just this is the best time of year, and it gets a little different when it gets into, July and August when we're like, well, the Giants are 8 games back.
But Patrick Bailey hit a walk-off inside the park home run. So
yeah, and they went 2 and 4 for the week. But there's some positive signs. Right. That's usually what we end up being relegated to by that time. And they might reach 500. Right. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope Willie's right that they're poised to compete in the West, and we'll talk it on the preview show. I have some doubts already.
Yeah, we'll do all our picks. We'll do all of our fun prognostications, which we used to be pretty good at. Lately, I don't know. You've been pretty good. I have not. I've fallen off the waymark. But all right. Well, that'll do it for Willie and Eric. This is Chad signing off. And what was this? 332, I think. Yeah, 332. Next episode, our preview episode, will be 333. That's a good batting average. I think we'll take that. That's 1 out of 3 times. I think 1 out of 3 of our podcasts are good. That's not bad. Oh. We have a good batting average, so.
Hall of Fame worthy.
Hall of Fame worthy, baby. We're Hall of Fame podcast. 1 out of 3, we're good. All right. We'll see you next time for our preview episode. Bye, everybody, and go Giants. Boom.
A big thank you to everybody for listening to the TortureCast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Follow us on Twitter at TortureCast. You can also like us on Facebook or check out our blog at torturecast.com. I also want to say thank you to Ashcon and Bailey for letting us use their song Feeling Like a Giant for our intro. For Ben Lee and Chad King, my name is Willie Dills saying, we'll see you next time.